Hey guys, in today's video we're going to be doing something very easy and very basic. It's actually what I consider the easiest thing to do when you're first starting out with dye sublimation, which are UniSub coasters. These coasters are on 1/4 inch, actually 1/8 inch hardboard, and they're cut with a laser. You can see the laser cut edge. They have cork backing, and they have a nice glossy surface on them, and they're super easy to sub, super easy to design for, and a lot of people like them and love them. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and dive on into it, and we'll show you how you do these. Since this is a beginner project, the list of materials you'll need is quite short. Of course, you'll need some UniSub hardboard coasters, sublimation paper, I used ASub, a sublimation printer with Sublimation Ink, a heat press, sublimation tape, and butcher or parchment paper. Alright guys, and as you know, the first step to doing anything is to go ahead and measure for them. And these guys are, let's see, I usually design them 4 inches by 4 inches. That way, see, you have a little bit of overhang, and that way you don't have to be as precise when you center up your image. So 4 inch by 4 inch. Rounded corners is going to cut off a little bit, but the way we're going to design them, not going to be a big deal. These are super easy to do, but yeah, 4 inches by 4 inches will work, and we'll go ahead and design that in Photoshop. All right, guys, we have a couple photos here we're going to put on these coasters. First off, we're going to do the hold shift while you're doing this, and you're going to get the square marquee, and that's going to get it good and squared up. Try to just kind of eyeball center that. Go ahead and crop that. We're going to do some minor color corrections, mainly just go to auto levels. That's going to deepen up the reds and stuff. We may manually override those in a minute. We're also going to look at the curves and do auto curves and see what Photoshop thinks. We're going to do some manual adjustments on that though, because I know my printer is going to print a little bit on the dark side, so we're going to lighten those up a little bit. So I think this will print pretty good. That's my uncle's truck, by the way. This one's probably just fine the way it is. It did have an Instagram filter on it, so we'll go ahead and just square it up, and we'll go ahead and crop biscuit. We'll just do it this way. We'll go ahead and do that. 4 inch, bam. Go ahead and do this. 300 DPI. 4 inch by 4 inch, bam. And then we can go ahead and close this because there's no sense in it. And we'll go ahead and do, we'll just call it a 9 by 9. Because this is the only thing I got to do tonight, so we're just going to throw them on there. And if you wanted to verify it with the ruler, you can see they are 4 inch by 4 inch. And they're both the same size, so we'll go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead and just do 2 of each. We only pressed 2 in the video, though, but yeah. And we're going to be putting this, well, that ain't going to fit on 8.5 by 11 paper then. We're going to have to scrunch it up a little bit. There we go. Now, will that fit on 8.5 by 11 paper? Yeah, I think we can make it work. Usually, you got about 8 1/4 of actual printable space. That's 8.4. Let's trim it down a little bit more. That'll work. That right there will totally work, guys. Image size, we're at 8 1/4 by 9. So we're going to go ahead and print this. Now on coasters, no, we don't. I think we still have our paper that's 13 by 19. We're going to downsize that to 8.5 by 11. Premium presentation matte high for maximum colors. It might even be a little too much ink. We're going to do mirror the image. Under image options, we're going to have nothing. And under advanced, we're going to do ICM color management. And we'll go ahead and get this guy printed, and we'll catch it on the other side, and we'll go ahead and get it pressed. Alright guys, now we have our paper printed, ready to go. So what we're going to do, if you've watched this channel any at all, you know the very first step is to go on and protect your press. So you want to do that. Put your paper down, and we're going to go ahead and get everything prepped. You'll want to keep it towards the front of the printer table though. All right, guys. Now, on these, there's a thin layer of plastic. I went ahead and kind of pre-peeled a little bit of it so it wouldn't delay our project too much. But what you'll want to do, you'll want to go ahead and just peel these guys. Peel the plastic. Get that out the way. And what you're going to want to do, you're just going to put it face down on the image. Make sure you got it good and aligned. Make sure everything's good to go. And this is one of the few projects I'd highly recommend taping down. Just get you a piece of tape on basically all four corners, essentially. If you can help it anyway. Just kind of try to do your best. We'll go ahead and tape the other one too. We'll go ahead and just place it down. And since it's upside down and since we oversized it, you can pretty easily get it centered up. Not a big problem at all. Tape it down. Because see, we do have to press these face up, so the taping will help keep them in place when we flip them. That's the plan there. And if you don't have it already, you definitely need a tape dispenser. Helps you out majorly on stuff like this, bro. All right, so we'll go ahead and just get that ready. We're gonna grab them just like that. Just flip them on over. Good to go. Now, otherwise you need another piece. So we're doing butcher paper, substrate, face up, a sublimation paper printed, taped down, and we're gonna put one more piece of butcher paper. Just to protect our press, keep any bleed out or anything. I'm going to be pressing these with a pretty firm pressure. We're going to be doing it at 375 for about 70 seconds. That's a little too much pressure. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and do them for 75 seconds and 375. All right, we're going off. I kind of was a little behind the 8-ball there. We'll go ahead and get it. No stick. And what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and flip these guys. Just take them and just get it off. There we go. Then you can see just how much ink actually transfers out of those guys. And that's with a pretty aggressive ink setting with the Premium Presentation Matte. Go ahead and get our tape off. There we go. There we go. Now they are a little warm, so I highly recommend gloving at least one glove. And you can see, despite it not looking great on paper, I mean, they turn out they're so easy to do, and they just turn out amazing. We'll go ahead and do that. You can see just how good they turn out. So we'll go ahead and let these cool, let them get to their final color, and we'll do a final breakdown on them. All right, guys, that one's a wrap. That's super easy to do again. These coasters turned out absolutely beautiful. Once again, they're one of the easiest things you can do when you're starting out doing dye sublimation. I highly recommend as a first project. That way you know where you're at equipment-wise, heat-wise, heat press-wise, and all that good stuff. Because if you can make these look good, then everything else gets a little easier. So shout out to Condi Systems, dyetrans.com for giving us some of these to try. These have always been a favorite, for Mother's Day, Christmas gifts, and all that good stuff. They're a nice, simple thing that's cheap, easy to make, and they make a big impact. So if you found this video helpful, feel free to give it a big old thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more sublimation content. And guys, I appreciate it. Peace.